We're here with Sunami, and she is a counsellor and energy healer. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Delphi.
So, what is it that you do?
I work with alchemy, and is about transformation. So alchemy is about bringing love and light to all aspects in our lives. It's about heart awakening. It's helping us to remember the true essence of us, which is happiness prior to all conditions. And I engage alchemy products. They are tools that help us to remember our truth.
Okay, so what are some of these products?
We have wands, and you can see the wands I carry around. We have pendants, and we also have bigger artifacts like energy houses that helps to transform the environment, the space around us. And we also have heart of space products. They are energies that helps to purify the environment, the countries, the psychic field, etc.
Okay, so when did you start getting involved in all of this?
I started about 20 years ago, and I was in Melbourne, and I went to a festival, Mind Body Spirit Festival. And I've been to that festival a few times in other years, and that year I started feeling like, I might not want to go because every year is about the same kind of things. But I went that time because I didn't have anything else to do, and I came across this stand that I never seen before, and my heart just drawn to that, and I just wanted to know more. And I waited for a long time for someone to talk to me because everyone was very busy. And I didn't quite understand what they're saying about these products, but somehow I just felt that connection, just felt I had to get something. So I got a few energies, and then I engaged it for a few days, and I really noticed the difference. I felt happier and clearer. Yeah.
So, speaking about that and how you were drawn to it and how you were so bored with all the mundane energy work before that, how is this different to other energies?
At that time, I was doing my PhD study. I was at university, but I was seeking for something more than ordinary life. So I was interested in spiritual work. I was interested in natural health. So I wasn't practicing any other modalities, even though I was learning. I learned meditation, I learned TM, I learned Reiki, and many other things. But I didn't feel I could stick with anyone. And but when I came across this, I just felt like there's something more. I couldn't quite explain it, but I just felt like that's for me.
Yeah.
I felt like coming home when I met this. Yeah.
That's such an amazing experience.
It was. Yeah.
So when you introduce other people to that, what are some of the experiences you've had with that and reactions?
Well, some people do have like bodily physical reactions. They might get warmed or they might vibrate, and they they might have some visions. But I think the most important response is when they're touched at the heart. They felt loved and supported, and the unconditional love they feel that they have not ever felt before. I think that's important. That really inspires me. Yeah.
And it can be something so lacking in our modern world. Everything's so harsh and cold and
Yeah, absolutely. Because the world is harsh and is conditional. A lot of people don't experience what true love is. Yeah.
So it's reconnecting with your feeling dimension.
Absolutely.
So, describe some of the techniques you use.
Well, I use the energy like wands and the products, right? So they will they will have a drink of it, or they could just hold it and just connect with the tools, because the tools are really living current, the divine current. So by connecting with it, it helps them to remember the true essence of them, but also helps to release blocks that and their blocks and their limitations. Yeah. So sometimes I also use the wands on the body, so they can wave it through their auric field and their, just the body. And I've always been interested in Chinese medicine, and so I'm kind of more familiar with the meridians as well. So sometimes I use the wand just directly on those points on the body. So it's like injecting light to those places, and so it's like energy shiatsu. So I find that very interesting, because sometimes the body is so blocked and locked in trauma. So having physically unlocked it, it helped them to receive the energies easier. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about the blocks in energy. How would you describe that? Like, tell us a bit about that. How do you become blocked in your body and your energy?
Well, we are not just this gross vital body. The energy field, our auric field, it's part of us as well. So how we become blocked, it could be through lifetimes of trauma, our suffering. If you come across, like, if we get hurt and wounded or betrayed or anything like that, it does sometimes put this imprint in the body, So, and some people, because of that fear, the body just contracted and then locked up, and a lot of times people are not aware of it. And sometimes when I move an energy or just my hands through the body, I could feel like sorrow. So I will use relevant energies to help them to release that emotions in that part of the body, And by doing so, it's not just, it's just not just releasing that emotions. The body will let go. The body help to allow love in and light in. Yeah. Does that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many people can feel this? Like, how many people react to the energy work?
Well, everyone responds to the energy work differently. And, and the thing is that the products, there's no limit no limitation with the products. The limitation is always in their receptivity. Some people feel it straight away. They could, the bodily, they feel the current, they feel the warmth, and, they may have different sensations in the body, but the real feeling is more than the body. Sometimes some people feel it bodily, but they don't really get touched at the heart, where there are others, they might not feel it physically, but they recognize something more. That kind of feeling is, the heart is touched. Yeah. And then there are some people, when they don't feel, like bodily they don't feel, sometimes when I work on them bodily with the energies, I help them to relax. As I work with these longer, I can see where the bodies are blocked. Sometimes the mind, like when they're thinking too much, then they're not allowed in. So I would help them to connect, and then that sometimes for some people that helps them to receive. Yeah.
In this Western world, we're working so much.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about how the mind and the heart can connect to each other.
Yeah, I think it's fear, it's control, because people wants to make sure that everything is perfect, then they feel secure. So that's the mind, it's insecurity. And the thing is that you can't, when they may get a bit of happiness or joy, then they try to formulate it. The moment you want to formulate it and strategize it, you already lose that. It got to be in the moment. You feel that current, you feel love in the moment. Yeah, but that's how it is, this world, the scientific mind and strategies, the male mind, the machines. I think it's fear and wanting to control. Yeah, so then we're blocked off from the heart, so there's no heart intelligence. So this work is about awakening the heart intelligence. It's greater than this intelligence. Yeah.
Intuition.
Yeah, intuition, absolutely.
Tell us what inspires you most about this energy work.
Well, what inspires me is when I engage people with the energies, they may, how it touched them at their heart, and also sometimes after sessions where they transformed and the happiness and radiance shines through. Yeah, that really inspires me, how it changed their lives, right? But also when I go to countries, because I travel a lot with this work, I take this work to many Asian countries, and how putting in some of the bigger energies transform the countries. The density of the countries get lifted to light, and that really inspires me as well. And I feel really blessed and honored to be a part of this process.
That's
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
Do you collaborate with other people?
Yes.
In teaching and...
Yes. My biggest collaborators would be Divine Grace, because I feel guided who people I'm going to meet, and then very often I meet the right people, and then some of these people become my local support network in the countries. Yeah, and that would be my biggest support. Yes.
Where do you plan to go from here in your work?
Where
What would
do
be
I
your
go?
goal?
Yeah. I usually just sort of feel what grace reveal itself, what the next move will be. And at the moment, pretty much every Asian countries that have been, they all have a heart of space energies, those bigger energies. I would really like to have more of that in those countries, as well as opening other countries, like Indonesia and Taiwan, Philippines. At the moment, I have been to Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Hong Kong, China. Yes, these countries. Yes.
You were talking about how having heart of spaces in these countries can bring a lot of light back into them.
Yeah.
Explain what kind of reactions can happen in these countries when they're opened up.
I feel the space, the environment lighter. I actually can breathe easier, and sometimes, very often when people, like we notice that the weather change, and I remember this girl in Hong Kong was telling me they have typhoon in Hong Kong, so she got a heart of space. So when they had typhoon, she noticed that it doesn't go directly to her apartment. It actually went around it. Yeah, and but bodily I can feel there's an ease in my being when I go to countries with heart of space. There's a light space. Yeah. And the other thing I noticed is that some countries, like before the heart of space, there's a huge pressure on the head. So after we put in, the heart of space consists of 3 artifacts, but one of them is lifting the mind, the higher consciousness. I can actually feel there's not so much pressure in the head.
A peacefulness.
Yeah, there's a peace. There's a quiet. There's more silence in the mind, in the head.
How would you prepare for a session with someone?
How I prepare? The important thing is that I make sure that I am clear. Yeah. So if not, I will engage some of our energies beforehand, psychic clearing. Make sure that I'm clear and grounded. And the other thing is I'll prepare the space, make sure that the room is conscious as well. Yeah.
What is the importance of this?
The importance of the clear space is to support the client so they don't walk into negative energetics, so that the space is held for them just to work on their issues. Yeah. So we have energy to support that as well.
Yeah. What have you been working on recently?
Well, I just been to Thailand, and we put in the big harder space. So that's what mainly what happened. But I also continuously working on like translations. So I translate this work to Chinese. So that's an ongoing process because there's so much translate. It's not always easy to translate esoteric work as well. So I got to feel, because you can't translate word by word as well, because culturally it's different. So I got to feel the essence of what is it written in English, and then translate the essence of that. Yeah, but I also continue to support people and clients internationally through video conference, group sessions, and one-on-one sessions, so that they have so they continue to grow. Yeah.
So the Heart Festival is coming up.
Yeah.
How have you come to be involved in this?
Well, first of all, I got many friends involved in this. Some of them organize the event, but also I like the principle of this festival. The All Heart Festival feels to me like opening the heart, awakening the heart, which is very much aligned to what I do. So I feel it's a perfect place to be.
Do you feel like people respond easier to that when they're coming into an environment that's supporting that?
Absolutely, because of the energy that's given out, what this festival is about. So people that come to it, they have an idea of what this is about already. So I definitely find that easier.
Mm-hmm. Do you find different cultures respond differently?
Cultures as in different countries?
Cultures, yeah, different countries that you go to.
They do. Every country, even though in Asia, every country have different tendencies and patterns, right? They do respond differently, and some countries, they are used to busy, have many jobs at once, and but even though they're different, but there's always room for the heart. There's always someone respond to the heart. Yeah, and I feel very guided and very much blessed to. There's always someone that I meet, and could be like places that I wouldn't imagine. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sunami, for coming and talking with us today. It's been an honor.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.